We're getting closer to the time of the rapture of the church. And as we continue in these last days, we're also seeing an increase in anti-Semitism across our country. So what can you do as a believer to stand up for Israel? Pastor John Hagee is my guest today via Skype, and we're going to talk about the upcoming Christians United for Israel, Night to Honor Israel in Washington, D.C. And I want to encourage you to join Jeannie and I and go to Washington in July. And that's why I've asked Pastor Hagee to join us. And that's straight ahead, but right now, we're going to roll you a clip about anti-Semitism in America. Let's watch this, and then we'll come right back to join Pastor Hagee.
Today, we are seeing the rise of an old enemy wearing a new mask. Once, anti-Semitism was displayed by those in white hoods or wearing the twisted cross of the swastika. But today, this old hatred hides in plain sight. Only a decade ago, anti-Semites were shunned and despised. Now, this appalling bigotry has a platform on Twitter and is applauded in the public square. Anti-Semites rail against Israel on our college campuses. They break bread with elected officials. They commit acts of heinous violence in our cities. They may not wear the uniforms of their forefathers, but today's anti-Semites are more dangerous than ever. Today, anti-Semites wrap themselves in the flags of faith, social justice, and liberty. They contort the very concepts Americans hold so dear. So let us not be blind to the anti-Semitism that hides in plain sight. Words like anti-Zionism serve as fig leaves for bigotry. For decades, support for Israel transcended party, ideology, and faith in this country. But today, the loss of objective truth and the acceptance of moral ambiguity have enabled anti-Semitic movements to spread like cancer. CUFI was built for such a time as this. We will not let this darkness dim our light, for Christians are a light unto the world, and Israel is a light unto the nations. So shine bright. Shine the light on anti-Semitism that hides in plain sight, from churches to college campuses, from state capitals to Congress. We at Christians United for Israel seek to be a light in the darkness. As light conquers darkness, so shall we conquer this anti-Semitic scourge. Join us. Don't curse the darkness. Shine the light.
"13 years ago, Pastor Hagee called 400 of us to meet him in San Antonio to share the vision of CUFI, Christians United for Israel. I immediately jumped on board because I knew it was God. I knew it was the Holy Spirit. 13 years later, we went from 400 members to over 6 million members. Every year we have what we call Night to Honor Israel in Washington, D.C. We not only gather there thousands of Christians all over America and around the world, Jews and Gentiles, so to speak, together. And we not only have celebration, but we go to Capitol Hill and meet with all our constitutional representatives, senators and representatives. And so I've asked John Hagee to join us today to encourage you. You still have time. The July Summit, Washington Summit, July 8th and 9th, it's still plenty of time for you to register, make your reservations, drive, fly, get your hotel, be there. Take my word for it. You will not be the same after you have attended that rally. And it's a spiritual experience you have not experienced before. So Pastor Hagee is joining us live from San Antonio, and he's on Skype. And if we lose connection, don't run off. We'll get it back. Pastor Hagee, thank you for taking time out to join me for this broadcast.
Happy Caldwell, it's a pleasure to be with you.
I want you to share with the people why they need to come to Washington, D.C. We want to get enough people there from Arkansas. All 50 states are represented, plus people from other countries. We need to continue as CUFI to impact U.S. relations with Israel. And how has CUFI impacted U.S. relations with Israel?
Well, first, let me address the issue of why the people watching this telecast need to make a special effort to be in Washington, D.C., July the 8th and the 9th. The Bible very clearly teaches that those people who bless Israel and the Jewish people will indeed be blessed of God. That is the truth about nations, about churches, about individuals. Blessing Israel is near the heart of Jesus Christ. When Jesus was speaking in Matthew 25, he said, "Inasmuch as you've done it unto the least of these my brethren," and the my brethren means the Jewish people, "you have done it unto me." Our going to Washington, D.C. is sending the message to heaven that we are being obedient to the commission that the Lord gave us. Secondly, we are sending a message to the anti-Semites, to the enemies of Israel, that we stand with Israel, that America and Israel are connected and are inseparable, and we will be victorious over the anti-Semitism that's sweeping this nation and sweeping through Europe. This is going to be conducted at the Washington Convention Center in Washington, D.C. Here are the people who are going to be there. We're going to have United States Ambassador there, David Friedman. He's a personal friend. CUFI helped him in his nomination process. He is going to fill you with information that you will never get from the fake news media in the United States. Malcolm Hoenlein is going to be there. 32 years he has been the president of the Conference of Presidents, one of the most influential Jewish leaders in the world. Thirdly is going to be Dennis Prager. He's a radio commentator and he's the author of The Rational Bible, a beautiful book to read. And then Congressman Dan Crenshaw. These senators are going to be there. Marco Rubio, John Cornyn, Roy Blunt, Ted Cruz. Those senators are going to be sharing with you the things that are going on in government dealing with Israel that you will not read in the newspaper. We have a very special guest coming who is Mario Rivera. If you're a baseball fan, you know that Mario was the only baseball player in the history of the game to be voted into the Hall of Fame on the first ballot unanimously. Babe Ruth did not do that. Mickey Mantle did not do that. Mario Rivera did that. Then there will be a Holocaust survivor, the man who's in Auschwitz himself, Irving Roth. We are going to be there to be educated, to be truly informed, and then give you the opportunity to go with the state group to meet your senator. It really makes an impact on your senator when you walk into his office and say, "I live in your state and I vote for you based on your support of the state of Israel." We now have 6 million members and we are growing by the day. And that strength is needed. And your coming to Washington, D.C. is a demonstration to the people of America that the Christians are a force to be reckoned with. I assure you, CUFI has become a force to be reckoned with and so committed to me by U.S. senators. Here's how you register. Go to www.cufi.org /summit or call 210-477-4714. Let me give you that number again. 210-477-4714. The promo code is Arkansas 19, and it's $75 per person. We want you to be there. It's important for you to be there. History is hanging in the balance on the issue of anti-Semitism. Your voice needs to be heard. You need to be a light in a dark place. God bless you for your coming to Washington, D.C.
Thank you, Pastor Hagee. You know, Jeannie and I went with you and Diana to the embassy dedication last May. And I can tell our viewers here, CUFI has definitely made a difference, not only in Washington and in our country, but in Israel itself. The Jewish people really count on, and all the Jewish leaders count on CUFI for our biblical perspective of things and joining Israel and the U.S. together. So thank you, Pastor Hagee, for joining me for this short encouragement. And I want to encourage everybody. We're going to show you a clip now of the registration and give you that information that Pastor Hagee shared with you. This is the 14th Annual CUFI Washington Summit, July 8th and 9th. It's just 2 days, 2019, Washington, D.C. You can register at cufi.org. Watch this, and I'll be right back.
Every year, the Christians United for Israel Washington Summit gets bigger, better, and more powerful.
I have faith that with God's help, with the men and women gathered here, with all those who cherish Israel, and with President Donald Trump in the White House, the best days for Israel and for America together are yet to come.
What's amazing about Christians United for Israel is not just the power of your voice, it's also the importance of the cause you have dedicated your voice to. Standing up against this global pressure campaign on Israel and the Jewish people goes to the heart of our friendship and the heart of America. And the tip of the spear is Christians United for Israel.
Join Pastor Hagee and top leaders from Israel and America this July for the 2019 CUFI Washington Summit. Register now at www.cufi.org/summit.
Come on, Arkansas. I want to encourage you to join Jeannie and me at the Washington Summit, July 8th and 9th, 2019. You still have time to make reservations. You can log on to the website, cufi.org, and you can register online. It's just $75. You can drive, take a bus, pastors, you can take church loads. You can fly, however you want to get there is your choice. But let me just say again, you have never experienced anything like this in your life. If you want to really see what's going on and what God is doing in our country, in our relationship with Israel, and every year Prime Minister Netanyahu speaks to us via Skype. He's in the large auditorium, and I observe more and more Jewish people, rabbis and Jewish people attending this because they see something that has never happened before. Rabbi Scheinberg is, along with Pastor Hagee, they work together, Gentile and Jew, working together to help build bridge and relationship between Israel and the United States. And the first clip we showed you on anti-Semitism, our campus, CUFI on-campus representatives, these are young people, college grads, young business people. They work on college campuses and universities. I would say that's the cutting edge. That's the new frontier, because a lot of our college campuses and university campuses are steeped in anti-Semitism. They are just being fed the wrong information. And once our CUFI on-campus representatives go in there and set up a table and speak, then the students are amazed at the truth that they're hearing, because they've been lied to by the establishment. They've been lied to by the anti-Semitists, and they're hearing the truth. It's making a great difference. And last year we had 500, 600, 700 of those students there, and it's just really amazing. And you will not only see and hear the speakers like Pastor Hagee, U.S. ambassadors, David Feinstein, and then Ron Dermer and different ones. You'll hear senators and representatives from Washington, D.C. You'll not only go to your representative's office. Tom Cotton was one of our speakers one year, and we go to Tom Cotton's office. We go to all of our representatives on Capitol Hill. They're all born-again Christians. They're all pro-Israel. This is an amazing thing for the state of Arkansas. Other states are not privileged to have believing Christians that love Israel. I believe that's one of the reasons we're blessed here in Arkansas. And you will see and hear the beautiful music, the speakers. The atmosphere is charged. And I remember one year as they started playing some of the music and singing the Israeli national anthem, people started dancing across the front of that huge civic center, that auditorium. It was a sight to behold. And you have the Israeli flags and the American flags being waved together. And Jeannie and I, we had four IDF soldiers there that CUFI brought over, and these were commanding officers, majors, colonels in the Israeli army. There were 3 women and 1 man, and they all serve in combat. They all serve in the Israeli army, the IDF. And they all spoke about what CUFI meant to them. And it was so touching. And after the service was over, and Jeannie and I went out and had our picture made with them. And Jeannie asked the 4 of them, she said, "Can you tell me if this is your first time to the U.S., first time to be in a CUFI meeting?" And they said, "Yes." And they said, she said, "Can you tell me the one thing that impacted you the most about being here on this night to honor Israel?" And one of the female officers looked at her and looked around, and she said, "The love. The love is what we weren't expecting. The love is what impacted us." Because you see, they don't understand. They don't experience the love of God. They don't know the love of God, because everybody is trying to destroy Israel. And we have stood up, Christians united for Israel. We have stood up by their side with them for 13 years. And you have to be honest and say you've seen a difference in our country as a result of CUFI. In fact, when Jeannie and I accompanied Pastor and Dinah Hagee over to Israel for the dedication of the U.S. Embassy in Jerusalem in May of last year, we saw signs on the street corner. Now, whether you agree with this politically or not is really not the issue. Street signs on every corner saying, "Trump, make Israel great." After the dedication of the embassy, and we drove out of the embassy, there were people on the hillsides shouting and cheering for the U.S. and what Donald Trump did. He went down in political and spiritual history of moving that embassy. Because, you know, the Congress agreed to do this 25 years ago, but no president had the guts to do it. And Pastor Hagee told President Trump, he said, if you do this, he was concerned about any fallout or wars or whatever. He said, if you do this, he said, you won't see wars, and you will see a resurgent of the glory of God. And that's what we've seen. And the Bible says, if you bless Abraham and his seed, God will bless you. So I want to encourage you. I'm taking this time today to personally encourage you to join Jeannie and me. There's a lot of people that go from Arkansas, and we meet them up there in the convention, and we go to Washington, we go to Capitol Hill together, and we all meet with our representatives. And it's such a blessing to be able to walk the halls of Congress and know that our representatives are pro-Israel and that they honor CUFI, Christians United for Israel, because we're going to benefit from that. So pastors, I encourage you to get somebody from your church. You can form a committee, you can get a bus load, you can get a plane load, and go up there. It'll change. You might want to teach on the Israeli Christian relationship, the U.S.-Israeli relationship. Get some information. Pastor Hagee's written a lot of books about it, and you can find out online what is available. Just go to cufi.org and you can register. You can find out about everything that you want to know about this upcoming convention, this event. I want to show the anti-Semitism spot again. Well, we may not have time for that. It's over 6 minutes. But I want you to show the annual Washington Summit spot again so people can get this information. So watch this, and I'll be right back in just a minute.
Every year, the Christians United for Israel Washington Summit gets bigger, better, and more powerful.
I have faith that with God's help, and with the men and women gathered here, with all those who cherish Israel, and with President Donald Trump in the White House, the best days for Israel and for America together are yet to come.
What's amazing about Christians United for Israel is not just the power of your voice, it's also the importance of the cause you have dedicated your voice to. Standing up against this global pressure campaign on Israel and the Jewish people goes to the heart of our friendship and the heart of America. And the tip of the spear is Christians United for Israel.
Join Pastor Hagee and top leaders from Israel and America this July for the 2019 CUFI Washington Summit. Register now at www.cufi.org/summit.
You know, as Pastor Hagee mentioned, we are going to defeat anti-Semitism. And this is the beautiful thing about CUFI. This is our assignment. This is Pastor Hagee's assignment. And we joined with him to come against anti-Semitism in America. So I want to go, they told me we did have time to show this clip again. It's called Light to Shine. So let's watch this again, and then I'll be back.
Today, we are seeing the rise of an old enemy wearing a new mask. Once, anti-Semitism was displayed by those in white hoods or wearing the twisted cross of the swastika. But today, this old hatred hides in plain sight. Only a decade ago, anti-Semites were shunned and despised. Now, this appalling bigotry has a platform on Twitter and is applauded in the public square. Anti-Semites rail against Israel on our college campuses. They break bread with elected officials. They commit acts of heinous violence in our cities. They may not wear the uniforms of their forefathers, but today's anti-Semites are more dangerous than ever. Today, anti-Semites wrap themselves in the flags of faith, social justice, and liberty. They contort the very concepts Americans hold so dear. So let us not be blind to the anti-Semitism that hides in plain sight. Words like anti-Zionism serve as fig leaves for bigotry. For decades, support for Israel transcended party, ideology, and faith in this country. But today, the loss of objective truth and the acceptance of moral ambiguity have enabled anti-Semitic movements to spread like cancer. CUFI was built for such a time as this. We will not let this darkness dim our light, for Christians are a light unto the world, and Israel is a light unto the nations. So shine bright. Shine the light on anti-Semitism that hides in plain sight, from churches to college campuses, from state capitals to Congress. We at Christians United for Israel seek to be a light in the darkness. As light conquers darkness, so shall we conquer this anti-Semitic scourge. Join us. Don't curse the darkness. Shine the light.
Every year, the Christians United for Israel Washington Summit gets bigger, better, and more powerful.
I have faith that with God's help, and with the men and women gathered here, with all those who cherish Israel, and with President Donald Trump in the White House, the best days for Israel and for America together are yet to come.
What's amazing about Christians United for Israel is not just the power of your voice, it's also the importance of the cause you have dedicated your voice to. Standing up against this global pressure campaign on Israel and the Jewish people goes to the heart of our friendship and the heart of America. And the tip of the spear is Christians United for Israel.
Join Pastor Hagee and top leaders from Israel and America this July for the 2019 CUFI Washington Summit. Register now at www.cufi.org/summit.
To all of our viewers here at VTN, this is not a political rally. It's a spiritual rally, and it's taking place in Washington, D.C., July 8th and 9th, 2019. There's still time for you to register. Go online at cufi.org. Still time for you to make plans, get people to go with you. I guarantee you, you will come back changed. You will not be the same. And I'm just taking this opportunity today to personally invite you. Jeannie and I are going to be there, and we personally invite you to join us. There are quite a few people from Arkansas that go every year, but we'd like to have more. We'd like to be well represented there in Washington, D.C. So I want to encourage you. You still have time. You can go online, cufi.org, and you can register online. I think it's only about $75, and you can get the hotels. You can make plans. Take everybody you can with you. It's really an awesome time. So from Jeannie and I to you, please go with us. We want you to go. You'll be blessed. And until tomorrow's broadcast, join me again. Remember, Jesus is Lord over Arkansas and where you're watching, too.
Send your questions, comments, and testimonies to Happy Caldwell at Post Office Box 26207, Little Rock, Arkansas 72221, or email happycaldwell@vtntv.com. Remember to follow VTN on Facebook at VTN Your Arkansas Christian Connection, and follow Happy Caldwell on Twitter at Happy_Caldwell. Today's episode is available to watch on demand at vtntv.com and click Watch. You can also watch VTN via live stream at vtntv.com.